So this week my guest is alcohol counsellor Lynn Brown. Like me, Lynn is a Brit who came to visit South Africa 20 years ago and fell in love with this beautiful country. I moved here to live, whereas Lynn is what we call a swallow, who dodges the British winter by spending a few months here every year, although her wings have been severely clipped by COVID recently. In the UK, she works as a volunteer alcohol counsellor, and she also works as our Sober Buddy mentor here at Tribe Sober. So you helped us set up our Sober Buddy program. I'll just give a little bit of background, then I'll ask you to talk more about it. But we found that people were getting sober with Tribe Sober. We've been going now for more than 5 years. So people would get sober, they'd be members, chatting every day on WhatsApp, Zoom cafes, etc. And you could sense that they weren't really ready to walk off into the sunset as a sober person. They seemed to want to hang around. And then they started unofficially helping people, advising people. So we thought that would be a really cool way to keep people in our community and make use of that expertise that they'd built up, that they'd learned, and they could give more one-to-one support and accountability to new people and people who were struggling, maybe people that had relapsed. So Lynn very kindly stepped in and put a bit of structure in that for me. So talk us through how you got us organised.
Sure. I think initially there was a group of people who'd sort of evolved it to become a sober buddy, and it wasn't really clear what that role was, other than to, chat to somebody who wanted to chat more on a one-to-one basis. And so it felt important to try and define the role of the sober buddy a little bit more. And it's, because the sober buddies are people who have found their way to sobriety with Tribe Sober, and really are very motivated to share their experiences and give back, and support Janet and support Tribe Sober in the overall membership program. The sober buddies, they're not qualified counsellors, they're not qualified coaches, so their remit is very much just to provide support, to provide a listening ear, and to really share their own experiences of what worked for them as they went on their sober journey. So that's how we evolved the role of the sober buddy. In terms of qualifying, if you like, for a buddy, at first I think what we did is people were struggling and they said, oh, well, go to a sober buddy. But we found that the sober buddy wasn't necessarily qualified to help someone who hadn't yet made a personal commitment towards sobriety. So we wanted to strengthen that criteria, if you like, to qualify to have a buddy. And so we did a little bit of work on that. And so if anybody out there wants to have a sober buddy, it's one of those key membership features of Tribe Sober. And they need to be at a point where they're on that road to recovery with a clear commitment to staying sober. I think most people within the community, and Janet's explained many times about moderation versus sobriety. And moderation is hard, controlled is difficult. So people need to have reached the point where they have made a clear commitment to stay sober. And they will have demonstrated that commitment in probably a couple of ways. They will have made some progress on one of the challenges that Tribe Sober offers, the 30-day, the 66-day challenges, and they will have attended one of the workshops that you, Janet, have been running. Because these workshops are really critical, because they're the turning point to really set the scene for a sober life. And it's at that point after a workshop where someone can ask for a buddy, and then my remit then is to team you up with one of our buddies who will offer that regular support, check-ins, and a listening ear. I do have a few quotes actually from our people who've our members who've had the benefits of a sober buddy. So I'm just going to read a few out actually, because I think they're really nice. I feel heard and seen and understood. She offers me support, inspiration, and hope, and I would thoroughly recommend. From another one of our members, keeps me accountable and focused and strong, has been such a rock and anchor for me. A final one, without check-ins, I don't think I would have made the progress that I've made. Some really nice feedback around the value of having a sober buddy, because we do know that that we can make a commitment to a sober journey, but it is a rocky road. There's there's a lot of transitions, both personal, physical, that come along with sobriety, and I think just having somebody who's been through that themselves and with whom you can share your hopes, your fears, and your and ask questions, I think is a really, really beneficial feature of the membership program.
Every Saturday afternoon, we open up our Tribe Sober Zoom Cafe. It's a safe space where our members can connect, check in, and just shoot the breeze about alcohol-free living. If you'd like to be a guest at the cafe one Saturday, just drop us an email at janet@tribesober.com. That's Janet, Janet, @tribesober.com, and we'll send you an invitation.
Yeah, it's working really well. So thank you so much, Lynn, for all you've done.
Sure.
And I often get messages from people that have had a sober buddy, and they say I so appreciate being able to work with this person, and it's just that extra layer of accountability, isn't it? Because of course we have our groups and our Zoom cafe and our WhatsApps, but just to have that one-to-one, someone maybe you can ring in the evening and have a little chat with, rather than wondering who shall I talk to in the group, or shall I ask the whole group? Just that one person that understands you and knows you quite well. So thank you so much for setting that up and managing it. So, Lynn, if there's anyone listening to this thinking, I should give up drinking really, but I've no idea how to start, what would you say to them?
I would say join Tribe Sober.
Thank you. Thank you, Lynn.
And I'm not just saying that, Janet. I mean, I really do. I think the key thing is being with a group of like-minded people. So important. In the work that I do with my group, when people have lapses and we discuss lapses, the fact that you can discuss them with people who've said, "Oh, gosh, that happened to me, and this is what I did," is just gold dust in terms of help and support. So I would definitely recommending join Tribe Sober. But also reading, education about alcohol is a big thing. I feel very strongly about that, having been totally ignorant myself and learnt such a lot about alcohol and what it does to us. To ourselves, and a lot of people I've been able to turn a corner. The people that I've been working with, when you actually share what alcohol does and what alcohol is, they go, "Oh my God, I never realised that was what I've been doing for the last 20 odd years." So education, reading, articles, for me is another big one.
Yeah, I think education is huge. I say to people at the workshop, treat it as a research project, and just read and listen to podcasts and Google what does alcohol do to my body. The more you find out about this stuff, the less you want to touch it, to be honest. We've just been duped by the marketing companies, by the liquor companies for decades. So we now have to kind of educate ourselves and deprogram ourselves. I think that's the right way.
I'm afraid I get quite because I'm attuned now to obviously what alcohol does, and I watch a film or watch a movie and I see the decanter that comes out at 11 o'clock in the morning and seemingly highly intelligent people who are just knocking back units of whiskey, and I I just want to throw something at the TV, because it's just perpetuating the myth that alcohol is the, is the elixir of life, and it's totally the opposite.
Exactly. So I was watching Finding Faith last night. I don't know if you've ever seen
Yeah.
Just wine. It just never stops.
Yeah.
But thankfully, they have got one of their characters that's now going to AA. So
God.
At least they've mentioned that it can go a little bit too far.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's wonderful, Lynn. Thank you so much. Any last points you'd like to raise before we say goodbye?
No, I mean, I'm just, I would just really encourage people to stick with Tribe Sober, take advantage of all the membership features that it offers, and we have a group of active sober buddies who are more than happy to support people. So please feel free to take advantage of that feature that's on offer, because it's there waiting for you.